I'm Adam Ritter, chef and owner of Bucheron restaurant in Kingfield, Minnesota.
And I'm Jeanie Janice Ritter, co-owner of Bucheron.
So we landed on the name Bucheron because it kind of sticks with the ethos that we do here. In French, it means lumberjack, and we're in Minnesota.
I was born in Indiana, grew up and on a small family farm. I raised small animals. I was big into 4-H and raised rabbits, chickens, ducks, and geese. We also had a corn and soybean farm. And I went to culinary school in New York at the CIA when I was 18. From there, I moved to Las Vegas, then met Adam.
I grew up on a farm just outside of St. Cloud. Growing up, one of the coolest things I remember is like dipping that cup in the milk container and sipping on that. And then we grew raspberries. We had a couple beef animals as well. When I was 18 years old, just jumped in a car. We drove to LA to go to culinary school at Le Cordon Bleu down there. Jumped over to Las Vegas, met Jeanie. Crudo. We always have a petit plateau on the menu. I just think it's like the best way to start your meal here. We always switch the crudo seasonally. Right now we have kampachi. We just slightly cure that. We slice it thin. We put a little ginger sauce on top with just the slightest hint of soy. We garnish that with a little ramp oil.
The ramps came from one of our regulars' cabins. We try to use as much hyper-local ingredient as we can.
And then grilled black pepper. We finish that with a little bit of kohlrabi and then some onions that we slice, and we treat the onions like a ceviche.
I was going to school and Adam was working for Jean Robichon in Las Vegas. And we met at the Orleans Casino. They used to do dollar drinks and dollar bowling that would start at midnight, and all the restaurant kids would go. And so we met at like 4 o'clock in the morning at a casino in Las Vegas. We learned very quickly that we had similar backgrounds.
Started there when I was 19. It was the first restaurant that he opened in the United States. So Joe Robichon, one of the most famous chefs of our generation, he does classic, they call it nouvelle cuisine. He modernized French cuisine, our foie gras. This one is a mainstay. We just switched the jam seasonally. Right now we're currently serving the foie gras terrine. It has Marcona almonds, fried rosemary, a warm scone, and then the jam that we're serving currently is a blueberry jam. We garnish it with a little bit of fleur de sel, a little dots of that maple gel, blueberry jam, and the warm scone right next to that. The foie gras, we poach it and then we set it with a little layer of fat on top so it's rich. It also spreads just like room temperature butter. You'll put that on the scone with a little bit of jam, and then that almond crunch just gives you that little nutty finish to it. We had in our brain that we wanted to start a restaurant. For me, ever since I started line cooking, it was always the goal. So just memory banking all the flavors that I had cooking throughout, banking all the recipes.
And then we decided we wanted a challenge and we wanted to travel and live abroad, so we moved to Singapore. We definitely got the challenge that we were looking for. We spent 2 years there.
I worked at a restaurant called Restaurant Andre. He was a Taiwanese chef. He's famous in Taiwan. But he does French cuisine. He lived in south of France for 13 years.
It really just further ignited our love for travel, and travel has been a huge part of our lives ever since.
Next dish, we have pappardelle. We put a French curry in there called vadouvan. So it's a curry that has a lot more alliums in it, so more garlic, more onions. We roll that out, blanch that, and then we pick it up with a braised rabbit, lots of black pepper, mirepoix, white wine, and then we finish it with a little Parmesan cheese. We lived in Asia, so there's like little touches of Asia here and there. We put a little Thai basil for a little pop on top. And then we have the peas and carrots bring the freshness. The cheese, it gives it like just like the slightest bit of seasoning, like finishing it with a little bit of salt on top.
The curry is very delicate. It's a little bit more of a background flavor. It's one of those dishes that just is super comforting, kind of like chicken noodle soup, but in the most elevated, delicious way. And the menu definitely reflects this season as well. So as it starts to get a little bit warmer out, our food gets lighter.
We try like on the menu during the winter time, aim for like Normandy, France, like somewhere in the north region. So a little more heavy, a little rib stickers. On the spring, summer months, we aim more for like the south of France, like Provence, around there. It's cookies and cream. This one really like speaks to the way we approach cuisine here. So cookies and cream, American dessert, Midwestern dessert. When we first started coming up with it, we did regular cookies, but then we found out French macaroon shells are better because they give you a little bit of chew. A creme brulee pudding on the bottom. We put some little fouilletine crispies of chocolate. We put a milk sorbet, so no eggs, it's lighter. And then we put those chocolate macaroons on top. We put a little vanilla whipped cream, and then just the slightest dusting of lemon verbena powder, and then some chocolate rice chips on top. Our food, it is rich, but it eats light. And the way we do that is by technique. The biggest thing the lemon verbena does is brings like an aroma. When you take a bite, you smell that lemon verbena. And all the elements, like the chocolate rice chips I learned from the restaurant I worked in Singapore, the French macaroons in the French restaurants, and then cookies and cream, I'm American, Midwestern. This is a mashup of everywhere you worked. I had a guest here, he was freaking out about, we do a whitefish dip. So a smoked whitefish dip. Whitefish dip you can get up north everywhere, but ours we approach more like a mousse. There's like a little familiarity, but it blew his mind because that's the French approach to Minnesota cooking that just takes it and we elevate it. That's our purpose. It's like we take something that's Midwestern and elevate it with the French technique.
We were incredibly fortunate to win the Best New Restaurant from the James Beard Foundation last year. So it has been busy, which we're endlessly grateful for. People love to talk about how hard it is to get in here, and it's not, we promise. We keep the bar and a couple patio tables for walk-ins every night.